Hello, welcome back to Storybook Crafts. Today we're going to make something that exhibits both symmetry and asymmetry, inspired by the book Maybe Something Beautiful, How Art Transformed a Neighborhood. This book is by Isabel Campoy and Theresa Howell and illustrated by Rafael Lopez, and it is a true story of how a muralist transformed a neighborhood in San Diego. The muralist happens to be the illustrator of this book. And our sun is inspired by some of the suns you see throughout the book, which most of them are symmetric. However, one of them exhibits both symmetry and symmetry. And I love how it exemplifies a couple of things. Communities coming together, people from different sides coming together, and also art meeting reality. So, let's make our sun that is both symmetrical and asymmetrical. How are we going to make this? Well, we need a few things. The first thing we need is a blank piece of white paper. This time not scratch paper, an actual piece of white drawing or copy paper. The piece I'm using is an 8.5 by 11 piece. Any size will do. I just happen to be using 8.5 by 11, but it is important that it is blank on both sides and thin because you want to be able to see through it. So cardstock won't work for this one. Painting paper won't work. Thick drawing paper won't work, but thin drawing or sketch paper or copy paper, a-okay. We'll also need a black felt tip pen. I'm using a Sharpie, but any black felt tip pen will do. A pencil with an eraser. An eraser will be integral for this. If your pencil eraser isn't great, then go ahead and get a pink or white one. And some crayons. We're going to need a red, an orange, a yellow, a pink, and a black crayon. All right, let's get started. I'm going to put my drawing supplies aside for a moment, and I will take you through our steps. So the first step is to take your plain white piece of paper and fold it in half. I'm folding it in half lengthwise, so taking the long side and folding it over itself. Fold it right in half and make a nice crease down the center. Open that back up and make two little lines along that center fold. One that's about an inch from the top edge and one that's about an inch from the bottom edge. Very faint lines. Doesn't have to be really bold, just a faint line with your pencil. Next step, so there's our two faint lines. The next step is going to be to join those lines into kind of a rainbow with a circle in the center. So how are we going to do that? Just on one side of the page, take your pencil and make a curved line. Do this in segments. You can see I'm going slowly so that I know my curves will meet just at that line. There we go. And right about here, just down from the center of that rainbow curved line, make a circle. All right, so that was our second step. Here's that shape. The next step is to outline that pencil shape with your felt tip marker, just on one side. So this could be brown, black, whatever darker color felt tip marker you have. Outline that rainbow or half sphere that you just made so that it's nice and bold. Nice bold outline, and go ahead and do the circle too. Get as close to those pencil marks as you can. You can go ahead and erase the faint lines you made on your page now. And you can erase any pencil marks on there that you don't like. If you can still see the pencil marks that you had, go Go ahead and erase those. So there's your nice bold line. Here's our bold outline. After we have traced that, we are going to then make some spikes all along our shape here. Do this in pencil first and start at the top fold with a half triangle. So let's go down a half triangle here. Go ahead to the bottom and make a half triangle there so that the halfway mark meets up with the fold of your paper. And then go ahead and go around the whole shape and draw some triangles for our sun's corona or crown. There we go. I've got my crown, my corona. Now we're going to go ahead and outline those triangles we just made. And again, we're doing this just on one half of our page. This is how we're going to show symmetry in our next step. We're going to make the other side exactly the same using a little trick. Okay, so our outline of our sun and its corona is done. This is a half triangle. We do not want to meet this triangle right here. We want it to stay blank. All right, next step. Fold your paper. I'm going to move these steps aside. Fold your paper in half with the outline you just made on the outside. Okay, so fold your paper in half with that outline that you just did on one half of the page on the outside. Okay, there it is this way. I'm going to use my other example here too. One that I just made. Where did I go? All right, I will use this one. All right, next. So we've got it, kind of looks like a chicken. We've got our outline on one side and it is blank on the other side, but you can see through it because we used those nice bold lines with our felt tip marker. You can see through it just enough so that you're going to trace those outlines onto this side of the page. Use your pencil first, because if we make any mistakes, then we can go ahead and erase. Go ahead and trace exactly what's showing through from the other side. All the lines that we made. And the circle in the middle too, when we get there. Never rush on these things. Always go at a nice steady pace. It's okay to make mistakes now and then. It's part of the process. But when we don't rush and we take our time, the fewer mistakes we will make. Now let's outline that circle too. All right, let's see if I'm happy with that when I open it up. Make sure my lines meet where they're supposed to. They just about do. I might fix this particular one up. I'll go ahead and erase with my pencil. Use my good eraser. And then just make that line meet all the way to the edge of the page. There, I'm happier with that. All right, now I will outline that with my felt tip marker. Nice and bold again. Going slowly. Nice bold outline and outline the corona. If you want to use a ruler or a straight edge to help you make these nice straight lines, you certainly may. Almost done here. And I'm carefully going over these pencil lines. You can either do that or you can erase any pencil lines that still show when you're done. I don't think I'll need to erase any this time because I've gone over them pretty well and they do not show. All right, I am ready. Oh, I take it back. There's a few little pencil lines right there and there. I'm ready to open it up and show that I have made symmetry, just about. There's one little spot here where those lines don't meet, but guess what? We're gonna make them meet. Haha. We have a sun that is symmetric. I want those two little circles that I made on the bottom half of my sun. So I turned it over. This is the top. I'm gonna make these lines meet here too, right in the corner. So you can really see the crown of my sun, the corona of my sun. All right, I'm very happy with that. So we've made a symmetrical shape, but we're going to make an asymmetrical face. The next step is to draw 3 faint lines. We did 2 in the beginning and we erased those. We need 3 faint lines inside of our sun now. We're going to put one in the middle, right here. One faint line going across that middle fold. One about an inch away from the border of the sun on the bottom. And one about an inch away from the border of the sun inside on the top. And that's so that we can see where our middles are going to be when we make our faces. We've made those 3 lines. Go ahead and fold the shape in half. And let's work on the side of our sun that has more of a fancy face. So we need a mouth, and we're going to use the bottom little faint line that we drew here. And we're going to make that meet up with the circle for our cheek. So this circle is our sun's cheek. And then we're going to make one more curved line right above it so that we have kind of a half smile. You can go ahead and fix that to your liking, however you like your smile there. A skinny smile on this side. Do this in pencil first. Now we're going to make a curvy nose. So using this center line as a guide, we're going to make sort of a sprout shape, just like that. And then we're going to take our pencil and come here, right about in the middle of that curve on the top. Make one almost circle, just like that. And then a nice curve all the way up here, just like that. All right, there's our nose and our eyebrow. And now we're going to make an eye. And we're going to put this is going to be a curvy kind of eye, an eye-shaped eye, really. A leaf shape, sort of. So one curved line right there. One on the top. We're going to draw another curved line right here at the bottom of that shape. And then we're going to fill out the top of that curve right here. All right, that's our eye and that's our nose for this side of our sun. Let's go ahead and flip it over. And now we're going to draw a wide mouth, a triangle nose, and a circle eye with an eyebrow above it. We're still going to be using these 3 little faint lines that we had as our guide for where we want to put these shapes. So let's make our wide mouth using this line at the bottom. I'm going to start just below it, just below here, and make the bottom curved line of my wide circle meet up with my cheek. And then the top of my wide mouth is going to be just above that line. So I'm using that line as a guide. Okay, there's my nice wide mouth. Here's the line for the guide of my nose. I'm going to start just above it, make a little line here. That's where the top of my nose is going to be. I want this nose, I want the triangle to be upside down. So I'm going to make a line here that meets just about like that. Just about like that. Okay, so we meet that center line that we made. There's our half triangle nose. And then our eye, we can flip our page over and see just about where, use your finger as a guide, just about where we want that circle eye to be. I want it to be right about there where my finger was. Make a little circle, a little eyebrow above it. Open your shape back up, and now we have made an asymmetrical face for our symmetric sun. You can use your black felt tip marker to make these shapes nice and bold that we made for our face, and then we're going to go in after and erase the pencil marks. The nose here. I will actually create a line down the center for that triangle, and then I'll make sure to meet the curved line for my curvy nose. The center of, or not the center, but the bottom of my triangle there. Okay, outline my eye. And you can do this with your crayon or your black felt tip marker or any color felt tip marker that you're using for your eye. Go ahead and use the outline, or use the marker for the outline, and then for the bottom of the eye, the eyeball, you can go ahead and color it in with your marker if you'd like. You can wait and use your crayon if you'd like, but you can use your marker there. You can also use your marker to color in this eye. That way we'll have a nice bold eye on each side. Again, you can use your crayon if you wish. All right, let's do the outline of the mouth. Just the outsides first, because I don't want to make a line down the middle on this one. I want to make my lines meet instead. Okay, now we're ready to take the eraser and erase those 3 little lines we made in the middle. It's important to do the eraser first before you add the crayon because you don't want to smudge the crayon. And I will say that if you are going to use black crayon to color in the eye or the eye on both sides, so the bold circle eye and the boldness of this eyeball, if you're going to use the black crayon, then do the black last, or make sure to do the yellow first, because when you bring the black over the yellow, here's the one I did with crayon. When I went in to do the boldness of the black and then went over with the yellow, it smudged a little. I don't mind. I think that that's actually quite nice. But this one, if you used the marker to do it, it will not smudge. So let's go ahead and color in our sun. Let's do yellow first for the bulk of our sun, most of our sun here, the circle, sphere rather, it's not a circle. And I'm going pretty carefully here around the borders. I don't really want that color to go outside the lines, either on the border of my sun or inside any of the shapes that I drew, except for this curvy nose. I can go all around that shape with the yellow, because I don't need to be coloring inside of that one. I'll be really careful around the eye, because I don't want any yellow in there. And again, I'll be really careful around the cheek, because I don't want any yellow in there or inside the mouth. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll come back later and really make that bold once I have the other colors done. Let's do orange on the nose. Ooh, this is a nice bright orange, kind of neon. And on the eyelid there. It's kind of a smudgy orange crayon, but that's okay. Works for me. Okay, and let's do some pink for the cheeks. let's do, ooh, you know what else I like to do with the orange? Let's do the outline of the curvy nose with a little orange, and also the eyebrow up here. Just a little. Give it a little definition there. All right, there we go. And now we need some red for the mouth. And you can, of course, use any colors you like. These are just the ones I chose. And I'm going to get fancy with the corona. I'm going to do some orange first on each one. We'll see on the middles, paying more focus to the middle of each of these triangles rather than the edges. We're going to blend some red in when we're done with the orange. Okay, let's go in with the red. Give each one of those triangles a little bit more definition there. I love coloring with crayons. It's fun. We're going to make this look really blendy in a moment. I'm going to saturate it with color from these crayons. A little bit more red on each of these, just around those borders. This really makes the colors pop out of the page when you do this. Kind of makes the sun look like it's gonna shine right on you from the page. And now we're going to take that orange again. We're going to go in along the borders of each one and really blend those together. Look at that. Really, really pops. Go ahead and do that on each one of these. And then you can go around when you're done with the corona, the crown of your sun. Done doing this blending. You can do this with the yellow as well. You could even add a little orange in there if you wanted to. You could add a little red or orange around the border on the inside, and then blend your yellow into it. Really saturate your page with as much color from those crayons as you can get. Press really hard to get all that color on there. Now, it looks like I'm scribbling, but I'm really not. I'm being very careful as I do this to make sure that I'm staying within these lines, staying within the borders that I drew here. Nice. All right. We can really go in with the pink and make that pink really bold too. Press nice and hard right around those borders. Really gives it more definition and makes it look like a finished piece. There we go, there's the pink. And then we could do that with the red over here. Oh wow, look at that. Really, really, really makes it pop off the page. Last but not least, a little orange and a little yellow. Really make that orange bold over there. And really make the yellow bold. Oh, wow, yeah. Press really hard with that yellow, go all the way around. Remember, if you used black for the eyes, be very careful around the eyes. If you use black crayon, that is. If you use the black felt tip marker, then it will be just fine. will not smudge, but if you used black for the eye, black crayon that is for the eye, it might smudge when you go bold with your yellow crayon. Ooh, I love it. It's so nice and bright. Okay, so now here we have our beautiful, bright, bold, shiny sun that is symmetric on the outside and asymmetric on the inside. Symmetry is when they are the same. Asymmetry is when they are different. Yay, I love it. I hope that you enjoyed that. That was super fun. I certainly enjoyed it. Make a whole bunch of these if you like. Fill your room with sunshines. And of course, if you want to color in the background too, look even more vibrant. All right, enjoy that. Please check out this fabulous book from the Alameda Free Library, and I will see you next time on Storybook Crafts.